yo, Araba me na playboy, Araba. Araba me na playboy, Araba. Oh, Araba yo, Araba me na playboy, Araba. Araba me na playboy, Araba. Ah oh, si ole le le, si ole, si ole, si ole, si ole le oh, si ole, si ole, si ole. Si ole le le, si ole, si ole, si ole, si ole le o, si ole, si ole, si ole. Araba yo, Araba me na playboy, Araba. Araba me na playboy, Araba. Oh, Araba yo, Araba me na playboy, Araba. Araba me na playboy, Araba. Si ole le le, si ole, si ole, si ole, si ole le oh, si ole, si ole, si ole, si ole le le, si ole, si ole, si ole. Si ole le o, si ole, si ole, si ole. Yo, Araba me na playboy, Araba. Araba me na playboy, Araba yo, Araba me na playboy, Araba me na playboy. Oh, Araba yo, me na playboy, Araba me na playboy. Ah oh, si ole le le, si ole, si ole, si ole, si ole le oh. Thank you.
The scholarship program is really an answer that has been a lifesaver for a lot of students and people who want to go back to school.
Coming into the United States was a big change for me, and arriving here, I mean, I've always thought that it's easy to, especially in terms of education, to get into schools and stuff, it would be easy. But then when I arrived here, it was like a different story, and almost all the immigrants I know actually feel like they can't, you know, go back to school, or they can't achieve their dreams because they are not being given the scholarships or whatever it is.
First of all, paying out of pocket school here in the US is expensive, and it's not easy As a single parent, for me, I have to pay everything for myself, and then I also have to pay for school. So ProsperityMe is like the other hand helping me out. It just gave me a little time to breathe out and to do something that I love for myself.
A couple of friends of mine were looking for organizations that could help fund for immigrants and stuff like that, because we were told that as immigrants we not eligible for FAFSA, and there's no other option for us. So when we bumped into Prosperity Maine, we called the office and we spoke to Joanna, and she explained the whole process and everything, and then we were able to apply.
It serves people who would otherwise not be able to access any type of federal financial aid like FAFSA, and also students who do not already have a credit score because they're so new to the country, and so it's very hard for them to get personal loans to go to school. So our scholarship is a full scholarship for 2 years in a community college in Maine, and so the person would be able to come to us and have all the 2 years paid for, fees, including books.
I've been here for 25 years. I was an asylum seeker. Today, we are talking about building an organization with 25 employees, giving away more than a couple $1 million through the emergency rental assistance to folks who are struggling, or employing Americans, immigrants, more than 20 different languages. So those are wealth that we are doing in this state. So it was started by an asylum seeker. So asylum seeker not only for the handout, they're also here to make a contribution and help us build strong Maine's economy.
The Scholar program is very simple in its design, but it's pretty profound in its impact. Prosperity Maine identifies and competitively chooses students who would enroll in SMCC. They provide funding for the first year. Prosperity Maine provides funding for the first year of study for those students. When the students are successful and then go on to their second year, SMCC has decided to jump in and pick up the second year of cost for those students. So, strictly from a financial basis, it's a program that makes lots of sense. But that's really just the beginning of the program. The thing that really excites me is that we've also built into that opportunities for mentorship. So by design, we're taking students who come to SMCC, we're hooking them up early in their experience with another student who who comes from a similar background and has faced similar challenges. And we connect them, and we make sure that there's a peer mentor to answer questions and to help direct students to resources that are here on campus.
Now I have that peace that I can study full time, I can work hard and finish on time, that I don't have to go one course at a time. So it's really helping me in terms of time, of peace, and also just such a great relief. So I'm very grateful.
I was very honored to have been selected for this Prosperity Maine scholarship, because it has lightened my financial burden, and which allowed me to focus on the most important part of school. And my future goal is to become a nurse, a mental health nurse to be specific. And the one thing about going to college is that I get to experience new things every day, and it has improved my self-esteem.
Honestly, I am so grateful to the Prosperity Maine team. You guys, the organization has such a great team. Every time I called to find out how far the applications were going, how things were going with the applications, the people were just so kind on the phone and just telling me to calm down and just relax, and that I would get it. So I don't know, I kind of I had a really good experience with the team. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that.
These are the future of our state. So scholarship for those asylum seekers, they need it. They need a place to start. They need the education to be able to compete in the workforce tomorrow. So I'm super happy with all the things we have done. 30 plus scholarship we have done is really amazing. Working with SMCC, USM, and others, it's really amazing. And all the success we have done really are also attributed to their support. Thank you.
Hello, my brothers and sisters. If you are not in this part of the world what I'm pointing to, the wrath of Khan will be upon you from the universe of Star Trek. Or alternatively, I will have to use my mind Jedi powers to pull you to this side, because this is where all the fun stuff is going to be happening. The third threat I can give to you is that all of you will be giving them the stinky eye and having them come over here. So everybody please come over here with a group, us as a community together. Thank you. Thank you so much. I do want to give a shout out to Aquaba because they just really kick butt. And I wish we could have that before every meeting that I have to go to, because it would definitely change the tenor of any meeting and end it. So, for those who do not know me, my name is Kerem Durda. It's very kind of you. Photographs with signed name, it will be there at the end. It's only $5, it goes to charity. But I digress. I do want to welcome everybody in my two birth tongues. In Turkish, I want to say merhaba, hoş geldiniz. And in Urdu, which is spoken in Pakistan, I want to say hoş Ahmed. Those are two of my birth tongues, and I wanted to share that with you. I'm fortunate enough to run a company called GWI, which brings fiber optic internet to all of Maine, or is trying to. And I'm also the founder of a microloan fund which is targeted to just immigrant businesses. In all of these adventures, I'm joined by peers and mentors and colleagues which are just trying to do something in the vein of the ancient Talmudic saying, which is if you affect one life, you affect a universe. And to some extent, you're all gathered here under this beautiful weather and this beautiful building under the auspices of Prosperity Maine, because I do believe to my core that Prosperity Maine is one of those jewels in the state of Maine that helps 1.3 million people, the citizens of Maine, become better and affect one life at a time, so that generations from now, it will just be even better. I do think that you should be congratulated for being here and supporting the organization. I do believe that. It just so also happens that I've known Claude for a very long time, and the myth is, and the legend, which is true, is that we're brothers from a different mother. I do want that to remain as legend and myth, because it's not entirely known to me how that could be possible, other than it being legend and myth. But I've known him for a very, very long time. And I'm also a proud supporter of the organization. I do believe that it is our moral, ethical, financial, fiscal, spiritual, and emotional responsibility to affect the narrative of the conversation that is in the state and in this country. And the narrative is one of inclusion and equity and diversity. We have to succeed in that endeavor no matter what the trials and tribulations may be, or what's in front of us and what's yet to come. But organizations like Prosperity Maine and your support play an extraordinary role in affecting that conversation. Because you're going to be affecting lives. You're going to be affecting the trajectory of this state as it tries to make a way in the 22nd century, which is enormously complicated. And one should not diminish what's in front of us. But the fact that this organization exists, and it has programs, it has this enormous amount of impact, all because of you, should be a cause for celebration, as it is today. So I really, really want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for being involved. But most of all, I want to thank you for being intentional in what you do. Intentions carry a lot of weight. And the reason why they carry weight is because a piece of you is somehow translated into this organization. So if there's anything you can do, other than enjoying and having a great time today and giving Claude a very hard time, because you should, he can take it. You know, he smiles behind that glasses, ha ha ha, he he he. But it's good to challenge him. It's good to challenge him. He looks pretty dapper, you know, the purple tie. Oh yeah, I rock in it, yeah. Challenge him. Yeah, I know, you did. You did ask me to do this. But the reason why your involvement matters is because at the end of the day, we have to make things right. And this is one instrument, one tool, Prosperity Maine, among many, but it's an important one. And so you should spread the news. Talk to people about it. This organization has lasted more than its fair share of, I would say, growth. It's here. It's creating scholarship programs for us. It's doing financial literacy. It's going into economic development. Everybody talks about economic development as if it's some amorphous policy. Well, Prosperity means actually doing it. So spread the news. Talk to people. Show his photograph and say, look at this man. And say, here's an organization, Tara, the board chair. There's an organization behind that has a lot of flex and muscle. So let's give them more flex and muscle because they've proven their worth. So in that vein, we have a wonderful, wonderful next hour for you. And Akwaba will be back, so please stay afterwards because they will do a final close. But I do want to introduce the next stage of this program, which is a student panel, so they can start talking about it. And I do want to take a minute to introduce the moderator because in some ways, it's a joyous moment. So Bright Mosamba is a Congolese immigrant who lives in Lewiston, and she is the recipient of Uplift LA's 40 Under 40 Award for her activities and commitment as a local government and civic leader. So, she hopes to bridge the gap between Maine communities and the workforce empowerment initiatives and connect more people to resources that they may need to thrive and succeed. I think that's admirable. I think that's inspirational. I think that's cool. And so I'm really looking forward to having her up here talking with the students because that's our future. We have to look forward. And the future is with leaders like Bright and the students that this organization is funding. The future is with immigrants who have the tools, the capacity, expertise, and the know-how to create businesses, to affect lives. So I'm looking forward to that. So I welcome Bright to stage. Please help me welcome her.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Karam, for that lovely introduction. Before I begin, I would like to invite the beautiful panelists to please join me on stage. So, Rina, Yusra, Rosalind, Zulu, please join me on stage. Yeah. Thank you so much. Welcome to Prosperity Maine's 14th Annual Block Party Panel. My name is Bright Lukusa Mswamba, and I am the Program Coordinator and the Peer Workforce Navigator at Prosperity Maine. Now, 2 years ago, Prosperity Maine only had 5 employees. And today, Last year, I was the first hire, and I feel like I started a snowball effect because today there are now 27 employees. Yeah? And what's funny is that all the newbies think that I'm the newbie because I mostly work out of Lewiston. How crazy is that? But all jokes aside, it has been amazing to see the team grow, expand, and carry out Prosperity Maine's vision and mission across Maine's communities. Can we get a round of applause for all Prosperity Maine staff? Yeah. Thank you. Now, it is my pleasure to host this year's panel with past students Rina Rengua, Yusra Mugarewase, Jean Medal Zulu, and Rosalyn Subele. So I would like to begin by asking all the panelists to please introduce themselves. So Rina, could you introduce yourself, your name, your country of origin, how long you've been in Maine, and how you came to encounter Prosperity Maine?
Hello, everyone. Thank you to give me this opportunity to explain myself. My name is Rina Ringoa. I come from Gabon. I've been in Maine since March 2022. I meet Prosperity Maine for the first time in April for the basic management training program. It was very, very, very rewarding. And that's it. Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry, thank you.
Yusra, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yusra Mugorewase, and I come from Rwanda. I'm a student at SMCC, majoring in computer science. I knew Prosperity Me when I first came to the country, and I had to change my school because my sponsor couldn't sponsor me anymore because the coronavirus, his business was not going good. So I had to find another school, and it was so hard because as a new immigrant, you don't have scholarships or opportunities, and I was new to that. I was new in the country. I left my family behind. I had nobody. But then somebody told me about Prosperity Me. I was still in another state, and then I had to move here for Prosperity Me. So when I got here, I didn't get the scholarship because the deadline was, it was up, and I didn't apply yet. But then I waited for a year, and I applied, and finally I got it, and I'm so grateful for that.
That's awesome, Yusra. Congratulations on being one of the recipients. Yeah. Zulu, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So my name is Jean Medal Zulu. I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo. I've been in the United States for 7 years. I'm currently working for Bank of America, and I'm a student as well at USM. I'm just ending my bachelor in finance. So I'm pretty much, I play basketball back home. So I identify myself as an investor, and I invest mostly into real estate. So I used to encounter Prosperity Maine. That was when I first came in the United States. I didn't know anything about finance, so I gave myself the opportunity to take some financial literacy. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zulu. And last, but definitely not least, I'll ask Rosalind to introduce herself.
Good afternoon. My name is Rosalyn Subele Mayinga, and I am from the Republic of Congo, the smaller, beautiful Congo, because he's from the bigger one. I came to the United States in 2019, so I've been living in Maine more than 3 years now. And the first time that I heard about Prosperity Men was through Hope House, because I was a Hope House resident. So I had to go through a training that they call how to become a good tenant. So that's when, for the first time, I met the team of Prosperity Men, and then I had to go through other trainings, including financial literacy. And then now I am a scholarship recipient, so I'm so grateful.
Oh, that's beautiful. Congratulations on that. Yeah, it's so lovely to see. I myself being a past participant of basic money management and hearing them speak about taking out classes and also earning things like the scholarship. It's just beautiful to see how Prosperity Maine and the programs are at work in everyday people. So Rena, I would like to ask you, can you describe the impact that taking basic money management has had on your life? And do you think that it was worth it?
Indeed, it was worth it because this class allowed me to understand so many things. Before I came in Maine, in US especially, I was a banker in my country. And taking class at this course allowed me to understand that the banking system in US is a little bit different from ours in Gabon, even in Africa. So, for example, for the credit score, we don't have it in our country. So I learned a lot concerning the credit score. Now I know how to build my credit score. I know how to protect my credit score too, because the most important thing that I learned in this class concerning the credit score is you need to build and protect your credit score. Because if you want to succeed in US in your life, you need to have a good credit score. So that's the thing that I learned. I also learned, especially for us, we came new Mainer, asylum seeker, we received the support of the government. Sometimes when we take care, you don't imagine the cost that people we care about you spend. So this course allowed me to understand too how to prepare myself after the government is supposed to stop the helping, because I'm supposed to start to work too. So to prepare myself too after to receive the support of the government. It also helped me to understand the retirement. We came here in US sometime with the high age, and it's better to start earlier to work, to save when you work. But for us, for example, we came at the age is high, is a little bit high. So this course helped me to understand how to prepare myself, for example, 401k, how to choose the company with the different proposal to prepare the retirement. So now I can know how to prepare my retirement, also to save how to have a good saving, because the saving is very important too. I know I was a banker too. I know the savings is important, but here, for example, if you want to contract to have a support of the banking, if you have a good saving, a good credit score, sometimes you can have a good credit score, for example, but you need to have a mortgage. For example, if you want to buy a house, you need to have a mortgage. If you don't have a good saving to have a good mortgage to buy, for example, a house. So this course helped me a lot. As a banker, for example, I know that today I can start, because I want to continue to be a banker. I have the tool to be a best banker now, because I have a good advantage with this course. So if I can add something, people, the organization need to work with Prosperity Men, because many people came in Africa, we don't have this knowledge, we don't have this reality, because the system, as I said before, the system is different. In our country, for example, you can have an account in another bank, you don't pay your mortgage, you don't pay your credit, you just take money and you don't pay, you don't reimburse your credit. You can close or leave this account and go to another bank, opening an account and resell, But in US, you don't have, it's not possible. Even if you leave Maine, you go to New York, for example, it's the same, because everything is connected. People came here, we don't have this knowledge. I think that the immigrant need to have this tool to start a good life in US. This is the tool for your life, to build a good life in US. So for my part, I need, if I can encourage people, we support, for example, Prosperity Maine, that's the community need to work too with Prosperity Maine to help the new man and the new immigrant to have this knowledge, because it's very important when you start your life in US.
Thank you so much, Gina. And I have to say, you don't look a day over 25, okay? You are not old. But thank you for sharing that experience. And I would like to move on to Yusra. What financial challenges did you face when you first got here, and how did Prosperity Maine help you address those challenges?
Thank you so much, Braid. One of the financial problems I had when I got to the country was paying my rent, because at that time I didn't work because I just got in the country. I needed to adjust, get my documents and everything. So paying rent, when I first got my job, I had to pay rent, and Prosperity assisted me through its housing program, and that's a relief that it's been providing me since 2 years when I got here until now. It's still helping me with my rent. And the second one is the scholarship, which is a relief, because it's really troubling to study funding yourself, because when I started in the spring semester, I was paying for myself. So the scholarship didn't accept applications yet, so I had to wait. So I know how it feels to study, working, struggling for money, and knowing that you don't know how to pay the next class. That's really affects your studying, your concentration, and now that I know that I have the scholarship, I'm just gonna, focus on my studies, try to get better, because I'm studying computer science, and it's a dream that I've been having since I was in my country. As a woman in this field, we don't have many women to be in that field. It's mostly dominated by men. And as a person who believes in women, because I believe in women empowerment, and I believe we can do more, and we are able to do more. So I want to succeed in this field for myself and for other women, because we can do it. And Prosperity has been giving me the hope that I need. And, a funny thing a good thing that I need to share with you is that Yusra, my name, means prosper. So it's a hope that Prosperity is providing for me.
Wow.
And I'm so grateful for that, and I'm looking forward to do more. And I would like to contribute in something beautiful as this, especially for women.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Yusra. How very fitting that her name means prosper. I did not know that myself, and I think everything that she said about women empowerment, not to leave the men out of this, but we all know how that is, and to see a woman so dedicated to her studies, pursuing that in a field that is dominated by men, it's inspiring to see. So the same way that Prosperity Maine is your hope, you are our hope. So thank you for that beautiful answer. Yeah. All right, next I would like to ask Zulu. You took part in our teletraining program that we offer to the community. Can you tell us how that has helped you in your search and process for gainful employment?
Well, the teletraining program was a really good opportunity for me because I work as a cashier back home, and always wanted to work for a banking institution here in the United States. But I didn't know where to go and how to start. So being part of that program that Prosperity Maine is giving was really essential for me to get that transition and get all the training that I needed know as a tailor here in America, because obviously the banking system is pretty much different from the one that we're having in Africa or outside of the US. So you definitely need to know how the institutions works here and how the industry as well works. So all the tools that Prosperity Men gave, which was in the course that I took, was beneficial for myself, and that's how I ended up getting hired by Bank of America. So, yeah.
Congratulations.
I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. Stories like Zulu's are so very important to the work that we do at Prosperity Maine, because as the Peer Workforce Navigator project has begun, the bulk of the work is also to help individuals transition from the positions that they may have held in their home countries and do that here in America, because we know that a lot of immigrants come with so many skills, so many degrees, so many certifications that they use back home, but sometimes they don't know how to navigate the way to use that here. And so the work that we do at Prosperity Maine is so very important in that essence. So thank you, Zulu. And next, I would like to ask Rosalind, having participated in our basic money management course and tenant responsibility, can you describe how you feel that has positively impacted you and how the knowledge you have gained has helped you navigate your life in Maine?
I will never say enough how those programs have impacted my life. Just imagine living in one country for over 30 years, and all of a sudden you just move to a totally new country where things are done so differently. You just lost, you know. And coming to the US, I grew up knowing that debts are not a good thing. But when I got here, I just learned that you need to get into debt so that you can build your worth sometimes. So it was just so confusing, you know. And through Prosperity Men with the financial literacy program, I was able to learn how to make good decisions, smart decisions when it comes to financial action, because one single mistake can just mess up with your life. And as we come here older, we have to think smart, we have to act smart, sometimes without knowing how we can manage our finances, how we can deal with housing, being a good tenant. We can just lose everything, and then we'll be blaming the country of not being a good place for us. But through Prosperity Men, I was able to learn how to work to manage my income, how to build my credit score, which is, I think, at the very core of building your wealth. And I was also able to make good decisions how to do good savings and get ready for the retirement. And I would really recommend this course, because we come here sometimes with such a rush, and then we get into some bad decision, and then we don't know. So we need to get informed, and this program should be I think, in my opinion, implemented everywhere in Maine where new people are coming. It has to be even mandatory, so people know what to expect and what to do. Because sometimes back home, when you owe somebody or when you do not have the money to pay your rent, you can just go and apologize. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't get the money at this time. Just give me a few weeks and I will pay you out. But here they don't care, you know? Yeah. And you can also have a lot of money, but if you have never got yourself into debt and you do not have anything that shows you owed and then you paid, they don't care about how much money you have. Somebody needs to co-sign. So it's just so frustrating and confusing at the same time. So this course, I can tell you, it was just one hand to help me navigate my new life here in the US. So,
that is wonderful. You know what Rosalind said is very important and essential, that these services, this knowledge should be available to people all over the state, all over the country, not just immigrants, but even Americans, because especially us individuals, immigrants coming here to America, it's almost like the world is flipped upside down, right? Yeah, like Rosalind mentioned, you have to get into debt to have a good credit score. there's Fahrenheit here instead of Celsius. Like, it's just a very strange world for us. But when you have that knowledge through organizations like Prosperity in Maine, it really allows you to be the most successful individual that you can be, and that's what we want for everybody. So Rena, lastly, I would like to ask you, what motivated you to come on this panel and speak to us today about your experience with Prosperity Maine?
Thank you for your question. I come today to testify, in order to show how this class can change people's lives, and also to encourage people. We put their energy, their finance, so we can access to this knowledge. You are very expensive. If you can access this course, for example, in a university, will be very expensive. But we access with this knowledge for free. So I want to say thank you for these people. We support ProsperityME's. The staff of ProsperityME's, we work, especially to Joanna. This girl is very, very, very kindful. She was pregnant, but she came every time. Every week she was there to help us, to empower ourselves. So I want to say thank you, because today I have a tool to build my life in US. So thank you so much.
You are very welcome. That's beautiful. Yusra, any last words that you would like to say to the audience about your experience with Prosperity Maine?
I would like to thank you first for offering me this scholarship, because it's a big relief for me, and it's going to help me achieve my dreams, focus on my studies. As a woman who come from Africa, where in my country there is opportunities for women, so getting here and getting that is really a relief. And I also want to thank you so much for providing me everything, support with assisting me with the rent, because it's not easy, working and studying and paying rent. And also I came here because I wanted to let you know that we are gonna follow in your footsteps. We are going to do things like this when we finish our studies, or we're gonna start by now. We're not gonna wait until we're done with our studies.
I love it, I love it.
And I also came here because I believe new immigrants, it's very hard for us to come in this country, dream, I believe in business, I like business, and I would like to become a businesswoman. So thank you for providing me support, hope, which is the most you provided for me. And I'm gonna be grateful for everything you're doing for me. And I hope to give back to you as much as you give me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yusra. That was beautiful. Thank you. And Zulu, what are the final words that you would like to share with our audience about the impact that Prosperity Maine has had in your life?
Well, it's really Prosperity Maine is a really amazing platform for those who want to learn about finance into our community. Not only for immigrants, but as you just mentioned, for Americans as well. And I highly recommend that program to those who really, really want to learn about finance. And I just came up with an idea if we could as well implement that program into school just to help students, because I'm currently a student. I've never seen a class where they teach you how to manage your finance, how to manage your saving, and how to build your 401k for your future expenses and so on. So it's gonna be a good things if we can see those kind of programs as well in universities or colleges. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say. Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you, Zulu. There is such a need, especially among young people, to learn about personal finance, how to basic money management, and how to build your future. Because, like Karim said, all students, we are the future, right? We are the people who are going to lead the future generations, and we are the ones who are going to move this world forward. And so we have to be educated. We have to have the knowledge that is needed to do that. And with that said, Rosalind, would you recommend Prosperity Maine and its services to your family, your friends, and other members of the community?
For sure. I will 100% recommend Prosperity Maine and all its services to the entire state, and if they can duplicate that into the other states as well, because don't get me wrong, as much as we can shout Black Lives Matters, all life matters, immigrant lives matters. So to have organization like Prosperity Maine that can understand the challenges that immigrants are going through and provide resources, support, so that they can thrive in this new life. I don't know where you're going to put your money or your support. Please, first of all, I'm thankful to the people who donate the money so that we can get the scholarship, but I also would like to take this opportunity to encourage other people to, those who are not doing that, to come to Prosperity Maine and support so that we can have more scholarship, more people get the opportunity, because immigrants are not afraid. They are coming with knowledge, they are coming with skills, and there's no way to build the state of Maine without immigrants. So you have to take advantage of those skills and help organizations like Prosperity Maine to orient those people so that they can serve the community better and we can all together live a better life. So please make this possible for Prosperity Maine to provide the trainings to as many people as possible, especially how to become a good tenant, because we have seen so many evictions. People, sometimes it's not on purpose. They just don't know how things work here. Recycling and no recycle, it's just so confusing. So we need to know how to deal with those matters so we don't get our landlords mad and we don't want to have bad reports. So we also need to know how to deal with our finances so we do not become a burden for the state or for other people, because if we know how to manage, then we can build businesses and then also support other people. So please keep on supporting Prosperity Maine, and those who have not done that yet, this is the time. Do not waste more minutes. Please come and will you be blessed.
I couldn't have said it better myself. This is the time. Thank you to all who support our programs. These testimonies, these experiences from all these individuals are exactly why we do the work that we do and why we love doing the work that we do and why this needs to continue. So please continue giving, please continue supporting us. And I would like to thank our panelists so very much for giving their time and coming to speak to us. Yeah, thank you for your words of experience. I think that you have brought on so much knowledge to everybody here, and you let them know about something that maybe they didn't know about. And I would like to thank the audience for your time and your attention. And can we get one more round of applause for our panelists, please? Thank you.
That was a great intro to me. I'm enormously grateful. We got a boogie woogie. Claude, we got a boogie woogie. Speaking of giving, just one quick thing is what I found amazing in the conversation that just happened here is how amazingly easy it is for us to root ourselves in each other. It really is, isn't it? The fact that we can understand, the fact we can empathize, the fact that we can appreciate and respect, I just find that enormously amazing. So the fact that we can root ourselves to each other, to be us, I think it's a joyous moment. And I say us because I don't believe there is you or me or them. I don't like the word them. I really don't. Because I think it's a lazy person's answer to a lot of xenophobia and racism. And I don't like the question, where are you from? I really don't. Because I'm here. I'm part of you as much as you're part of me. So don't ask me where I'm from. Ask me how my kids are doing and what books I read and what movies I watch and what soccer games I get very enormously frustrated with. So my job at some point soon is that there's going to be some QR codes that are going to get posted here. And the purpose is really very simple on my part, is to beseech you, plead you, beg you, request you to use technology at your infinite ease and contribute. That's my only humble request. If the app crashes, we know who to blame. And speaking of who to blame, he only goes by one name. There's Sting, there's Madonna, there's Pelé, Maradona, and then there's Claude. Just one name. I want him to come up here, and you're not going to talk about yourself. You cannot do that. No. What you are going to talk about are the people you're going to honor, because he's going to give out some really wonderful awards. And in that, come on up here, my brother.
My brother from different mother. We make that joke all the time. Again, I want you to make another applause for the panelists. They were wonderful. Before I invite the recipient of the award tonight, I just want to say again thank you for all of you for coming tonight. There is no celebration without people. So you made the celebration. So thank you for coming tonight. I also want to thank the panelists. I want to thank our donor and our supporter. I want to recognize all the staff who are here tonight. If you can stand up so that we can thank you for doing what you do every day. Thank you. Thank you. I also wanted to recognize the board members led by an amazing chair, Tara. If all of you can stand up, please, so you can be recognized, all the board members. Thank you. I want to also thank all the volunteers. We couldn't have made this event without the volunteers. I know some of my staff and also other volunteers made everything possible to make this beautiful event. Please, if you can stand up, the organizing committee, if you can stand up to get an applause. Thank you. And finally, I want to recognize all the sponsors. This event is always sponsored by wonderful individuals and the corporations. I'm sure you've seen in the brochure all the wonderful sponsors. But I just want to say thank you to all of you who are sponsors, but most let me say, in the back of this brochure, you have an ad which said, "Well done." My Hannaford, who has been the wonderful sponsor for so many years, and I see that the CEO is here today. Thank you very much for your sponsorship. Thank you for your leadership. It's great to have you and your continued support. But also, I want to make another special recognition for our platinum sponsor, the Safe Residential Care. These are organizations that we helped. Some of these individuals who lead this organization are the people that we trained who were in our basic money management. That's why when we say asylum seeker or immigrants are not here for a handout, they are here to make a difference. We see that happening. So Safe Residential has been our biggest sponsor other than the lead sponsor. So I would like to recognize all the folks from Safe Residential who are here tonight to be recognized. Please. Thank you. Now, this is the moment to recognize other folks who have done well. This is our 10th anniversary on giving these awards. And it's amazing to see that every year we continue to see many of you making a difference in the community. We give 3 awards every year, but this year we created a 4th one, and I will tell you when we get to that. So we're going to watch a small video for Commitment to Service Award before I can say any word on this, on the recipient.
Prosperity Maine is our key partner in many of the services that we provide. We work on education together, housing programs together, stabilizing families together, and we do system advocacy together. So what Prosperity Maine does is it comes into people's homes. It provides education that you need. It'll tell you in order for you to buy a home, have your child go through college with no debt or less debt, what you need to do is budget. You need to understand what resources are out there, and here are the tools that you need to have in order for you to be self-sufficient. And so there's this struggle around us serving communities that are underserved and marginalized. At the same time, we have to prove ourselves to funders, state partners, mainstream organizations, primarily because there isn't a lens of equity. It's basically racism. It's privilege, it's bias and privilege that's at its best. I'm grateful for Claude, my friend Claude. He's my mentor, but I also tell him what to do. You know, I'm his queen too, so we're grateful for each other there. I'm very grateful for Prosperity Maine staff. They are the silent heroes who do all kind of work behind the scenes. A shout out to the board of directors and the funders.
Let me ask the chair of the board, Tara, to come forward so we can give this award. As I share a few remarks about this individual. A Commitment to Service Award goes to Immigrant Resource Center of Maine. We do not recognize enough our ethnic community-based organization. I have known Fatuma, the leader of Immigrant Resource Center, for almost 20 years. She has worked tirelessly to support our immigrants' communities. But the last 2 years, I've seen her real work. She did a lot with our Prosperity Men in partnership with us in the area of housing. I'll tell you the truth. Some of you who know me, sometimes I can really never give up. But I've seen a woman who does never give up at all. That is Fatuma. What Fatuma brings is what we need. Her leadership and the vision at what the community needs and what the state of Maine needs. So please, let us put our hands together to welcome Fatuma on the stage to receive the award. What is the award? You see, she told you that she tells me what to do.
I just want to say thank you to my staff and my husband also. He does a lot of babysitting and supports me every day and every night, which is very unusual for an African man. Thank you.
So let me call the photographer to come forward. You can take this out. Thank you. Thank you, Fatima. For the sake of time, I did not want Fatuma to take the mic, but I really, from the bottom of my heart, I value Fatuma and what she does, and as she said, with her husband and the staff. Let us recognize the staff from Immigrant Resource Center who are here. Thank you. Thank you, Fatuma, for what you do for us. The last 2 years have been tough for everybody, the communities, the organizations. We had to form and team up some alliances to work. So let us watch another video, and then I'll tell you the second award for Outstanding Community Partner after the video.
So we began working closely with Prosperity Maine in the beginning of the pandemic as a result of individuals and families being diagnosed with COVID and needing to quarantine. So we, in probably the summer of 2020, began working with Claude and the staff at Prosperity Maine around really responding to people's basic needs for those folks that were quarantining due to being COVID positive. That evolved into really looking at the needs of people's housing situation, and we began partnering around housing stability, and then that evolved into the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. Our staff have been dedicated and have worked tirelessly to meet the needs of our friends and neighbors in our community, and I am in awe of the great work that they do. People have shown up day after day in very difficult times, even when they had their own personal struggles and challenges happening. They came to work, they continue to strive toward achieving the mission of both organizations, and I am just so thankful and feel so fortunate to work with such amazing people.
Thank you. Yes, he deserved that. When Mike retired from Opportunity Alliance, I thought I lost my connection there. I didn't know that they had another Mike who actually became even a friend of mine. I never had Mike's cell phone, but I do have Joe's cell phone. That's how we are connected, really. And the connection didn't start far. It was through the work of the pandemic that you mentioned. And as I said, when we're forming the alliances, we had to find a home. And the Opportunity Alliance kind of adopted the Prosperity Maine in the work we were doing. Really, I want to recognize Karen, my friend, whom I call. We don't talk with Karen during the day, but we connect in the afterward. So she's amazing. Mary, and all the crew. I don't want to leave anybody. I know you have an amazing team. TJ and others. So please, if you can give applause to a shout to the Opportunity Alliance team, and then I will welcome my friend Joe. I'm not afraid to call you my friend. Please come on stage so we can give you awards. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. You should reach forward. Hold back. It's so nice. Thank you. I know people are hungry, but I can't stop from appreciating all these people. But we have a wonderful food, by the way. Let's watch a third video before I can share something again.
I really have a rich relationship with Prosperity Maine that goes back about a decade, and it has varied. I think probably the most impactful part of our relationship is when we provided space to Prosperity Maine. Prosperity Maine was a young organization just getting started with very limited resources, and we were able to provide that space, and from that space we then were able to sort of complement one another with our programs. Many of our residents needed the assistance through the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, and so I advocated for Prosperity Maine to become more involved, and in fact they did. They became one of the deliverers of the program. At the end of the day, our residents are all low income and they tremendously need this assistance, and we're thrilled that Prosperity Maine could provide this financial help to our residents.
Oh my God. This one is tough for me. And I apologize for my emotion because Dana is a very good friend of mine. And the reason why I said it's tough because I don't know where Dana found me. I don't know how Dana heard about our organization. But he came to find me when I was in a tiny office in Riverside. And he said to me, I heard about your program. I was sitting in a very tiny office in a residential area, which took him 1 hour to find me, but he finally found me there. He said, Claude, I heard about your program, and I want to make sure that we can support you. He was clear to me. He said, we don't have money, but we have a space. Our student used to take 2 buses from wherever they are, South Portland or Portland, to get to Riverton. But he said, this is a wonderful program. Let's bring it to downtown. And he gave me a space. 1 office. I said, I need a second one. He gave me a second one. We grew that space. He expanded that. I'm sure Clement, who's here, remember that. And we grew that space. And he continued to support us with their own investment. We stayed within Avesta Housing for 6 years, paying $0. It's all because of this man. And he said to me, and that's why I'm so emotional when I share this, he said, my mom was an immigrant. I know how it felt to be an immigrant. And I want to make sure that I support you as you support others. Please let us welcome Dana on the stage. Before Dana leaves the stage, we have him for double thing. Dana just retired from Avesta Housing, but he will remain as my mentor. Second, if you can all sing, today is his birthday. If we can sing happy birthday to Dana.
Tomorrow's my last day of work, and I retire. And I'm just going to miss events like this, and I've loved Prosperity from the day one. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you. So we gave him an award that I said I was going to share, Leadership for Excellence. And that's our new award we gave him today because he's a true leader, especially an advocate for immigrants, for housing and others. And I hope that he continue in his retirement. I will still call you, and I have your cell phone as well. Last but not least, we are working overtime today, is a Volunteer of the Year. Let's have another video, then we can share a few words.
I volunteer for the marketing committee at Prosperity Maine, and I have been helping out since probably 2016. So I started working with Prosperity Maine when I was an employee at Androscoggin Bank, which is a local community bank based in Lewiston, and they gave me the opportunity to spend time volunteering in the community, and so I instantly knew that Prosperity Maine was the place. And now in my work with Imburse, which is located in Portland as well, they're very dedicated to the community and giving back and allowing their employees the time to work on projects that are meaningful to them and to bring their whole selves into work every day, which includes bringing the causes that they care about. All of my experiences with Prosperity Maine have just been a delight. Everyone truly cares. They really expect you to bring your full self. And in fact, I remember right after I had my daughter and I was still on maternity leave, I came for a marketing meeting and I had my daughter in a sling, and you know, she was welcome just as much as I was to be at the meeting. You know, no questions asked. Everyone's welcome at Prosperity Maine.
Melissa is an amazing person. She worked for Androscoggin Bank and volunteered for us. She moved with a job to another company, and she moved her volunteer time with us. But what really amazed me, by the way, I should say that this award is a way overdue. So thank you for being so patient. Because when she came to us and she was on maternity leave, that touched really my heart. And I think that little girl, she's here with us. So I would like to ask Melissa and the little girl to come on stage to receive the award. Now, let me welcome the chair to say a few remarks before we can go to get some food, right?
That's just like Claude to set me up, like to remind you that you're going to right to the food. So I will keep this very brief. I'm Tara Jenkins, the very, very honored and proud board chair of Prosperity Maine. Thank you again so much for coming. I want to just, we hopefully have all been to this event a number of years. It's always special. It's always really unique. And this year, I think in particular, there was a number of times where I just felt like I was going to cry. Because that exponential growth that you heard about earlier, that we're now up to 27 people at Prosperity Maine, is because of the exponential need in the community for the services of Prosperity Maine. And so we are at a time where ever more we need support and help as we're going through amazing growth. And what was really making me cry is really tears of joy of pride of where Prosperity Maine has come from, where we're going next, and the leadership and the development that Claude has been able to exhibit in a very short period of time to scale up an organization to better the community in such amazing ways. So I thoroughly enjoyed all of Kerem's digs against Claude, because those are really funny. But I think he really deserves a huge amount of appreciation and reward and recognition for all of the things that he does in our community, and for the team at Prosperity Maine, who is tirelessly dedicated to and committed to helping immigrants and to the mission and purpose of Prosperity Maine. So thank you so much to the whole team at Prosperity Maine. Again, a huge thank you to all of the sponsors. We couldn't do this without you. It is a critical part of this event that we have great sponsorship and have wonderful sponsors that have come back year after year to help us. And we also want to thank you again for your donations. If you're able to already give, or if you're considering giving, you can find the QR code in the back of the program if you missed that earlier. And we really, really appreciate deeply your support. We really want to enjoy the food. It's going to be very delicious. Before that, we're going to have one more beautiful performance by Akwaba, and we're going to cue them up to come in and come up to the stage right now. Thank you so much, Akwaba. Apologies, there's another video, apparently, that I needed to queue up. So we have another video to show you, just in conclusion. Thank you so much.
I think it's important for everyone in the community to be able to do a little bit, just to make sure that we are able to do our work, because we're not able to do this on our own. We depend on a lot of volunteers and donors and people who are willing to amplify our message and willing to amplify the many immigrant stories that are existing here. And so if you are able to help with advocacy or donating your time in any capacity, that would be for the greater good of the community, and we would be so grateful to have that.
As an immigrant myself, I think it was very meaningful for me to be able to do something that help other immigrants, and to know that I'm helping people facing issues that I have faced myself. So that's very meaningful, and it's very good to have that opportunity to do that.
I'm really grateful to have met you, board member like Greg, who have served on this organization for 12 years. Enko Kanakan, who have served for more than 13 years. I'm grateful for Quincy for 11 years. Many of my staff who have served with me, some have gone on to build other lives, and the others are still here. I don't want to name people and leave others, but again, I'm so proud for all those who are supporting this organization in making a difference in people's lives. I'm also grateful for the state of Maine, the partnership we have had together through DHHS, also the partnership with Maine Housing, the partnership with many wonderful organizations that are helping this organization to make a difference in the community. I'm super grateful for all of you. Remember our slogan, never say no to anyone, but we always say, when and how can we help you? So that really is what ProsperityME's is about. Thank you for attending this wonderful event today. Please help us to share the work that we do, so many people will learn about the organization, they know the program we have, and they also can share the word about the wonderful activities, programs, and things that we do here at ProsperityME's. You make our lives easier when you come. We thank you. Please come back again next year. We thank you. Merci beaucoup. Ndekorangai Nzambe apambolayo. God bless you. I thank you for everything you do for us.
Thank you so much.
Partir au bout du monde